Real or fake? Have you ever had to adjust yourself, become a little on the fake side just to fit in? Put your authentic self to the side just so you could be around certain people, so you could feel like you belong. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Now let's get straight into the video. Like this, like this, all this
Let's get straight into the episode, guys.
Talk to me. What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Welcome back. I hope you haven't been feeling a little fake recently. I hope you've been feeling a little real steel. Fun fact about the movie Real Steel. We'll pop that up right here. It was with Hugh Jackman. I actually went to go see that movie like 4 times in a row when it first came out. This must have been like in 2014, 2013 area. I loved that movie. Robots fighting. I loved it. And then there was that little TV show that came out. Chris Jericho was the host of it. It was something. It was the fighting robot ones. We'll pop that up as well. I forgot that one went for 1 season. I loved that show. It was. I'm gonna try to get to the point here, but it was like 2 people on each team would create a big fighting robot, and they would program it to have them like fight each other in this like coliseum, little coliseum. So every episode of the TV show was a robot fighting another robot, and it was like a big tournament. It was so cool. Oh my gosh, that was so cool. So cool. And they canceled it after 1 season. Some shows I really like, and they never last that long. Like when I was growing up, I watched James Corden's Carpool Karaoke. And I know a lot of people don't like James Corden. Okay, I get it. But growing up, that was like what I watched a lot was his Carpool Karaoke's, and I love them. I would love to do Carpool Karaoke. But as we all know, copyright is exactly a thing. Copyright is out there, and it would get me by the throat, and it would kill me viciously. And when I mean viciously, I mean viciously. But I love carpool karaoke, and I love stuff like that, like the lip sync ones where it was like Dwayne Johnson. We'll pop it up right here. Dwayne Johnson. Actually, they might really copyright me for that. But it was Dwayne Johnson singing "Staying Alive," and then it was like Jimmy Fallon talking about just like a prayer. And it was like it was a whole bunch of people doing lip sync battles. It was 1v1s. Those were so cool. The rap battles. Drop the Mic, I think it was called. That was one. That one went a few seasons as well. In 2016, 2017, and 2018, things were just so jolly. They were so jolly. You know, there was a lot of silliness going around, a lot of just silly things happening. It was a pretty cool time period. I was in middle school during that time. And now that we're talking about middle school, let's talk about the topic a little bit. Your authentic self. Turning a little fake, maybe. You know? Putting some glitter when you never had any before. I don't know what that means, but maybe that makes sense. I remember in 6th grade, I would wear like kind of regular shoes. Well, not really regular. I wore some weird shoes. I wore like the Skechers and all that. No one wears Skechers anymore. The ones I don't remember. Skechers used to have. No, you know what? Forget it. I'm gonna just start ranting about stuff that's not about a topic, and it's not gonna make any sense. But basically, I would wear some shoes that were not cool. They were not considered cool. But that wasn't my style. My style was never really a label like wearing all this cool stuff style. I wasn't really aesthetic, as the people would say. People wore Jordans. Currys were pretty big during that time. And you know what? I fell into it a little bit. I felt like I had to belong. I used to have these Nike shoes, but they were orange and blue, and people used to say they were the Nerf or Nothing shoes. They would always tell me that I was wearing the Nerf or Nothings. And I was like, you know what? Watch this. I'm going to get some cool shoes. And I got some cool shoes. They were like big. It was these white big shoes, foam, and they were called like Clouds. And people started saying that I was wearing hospital shoes. I was wearing hospital shoes. And then I got Jordans. Then I got Currys, and I got KDs, and I got LeBrons, and I started being kind of cool. But it didn't match me. It didn't match me. And then when COVID hit, being really, really aesthetic, that started being a thing too. People started being real aesthetic. Came out of nowhere. And I tried to get in there. I tried to blend in, but it was just so hard because it just isn't me, you know. It isn't what I do. It isn't what I built up. I remember I started getting I started getting ripped off. I would go to places to buy shirts, and guys would sell me like $40 shirts, and it was like, is this Ninja Turtle shirt really worth $40? I still have it. I like that shirt a lot, actually. I didn't mind paying $40 for that. But I had another one. It was like a jungle. That was like the Amazon, but it was like I never wore that in person. Like outside of my house, I've never worn that shirt. I spent like $50 on that one. Never worn it. But yeah, I would buy a lot of shirts trying to be aesthetic, but I never actually ended up wearing them because it isn't something I actually liked. It was something I just felt like I had to be, because sometimes we feel things that we have to be. We're like, oh, we got to be like this a little bit to blend in. And during that time period, I really wanted to kind of blend in. I wanted to be normal with everybody. I felt like I was always kind of just really awkward, and I wasn't able to have like those moments with people, those cool moments with people. I was just very, I guess, like kind of insecure, And I feel like sometimes we could feel like that. We could feel kind of insecure, and it's like we're trying to be someone else because we're just so scared of being ourselves. And that's the age old battle, huh? Scared of being ourselves. That's a battle that's been going on forever, forever. That's been the big one. And with time, there's been different things that have come up that have made people kind of, you know, try to change that about themselves, try to turn themselves into something else. Because let me tell you something. There was a lot of tutorials growing up. People would watch how to be cool, how to get the girls, how to fight. There was a lot of guys that would be teaching you that on YouTube, early YouTube. There was a lot of guys teaching you about that. And let me tell you, I fell for some of that stuff. When I was in middle school, I fell for some of that stuff. I would have them be on my phone looking at YouTube, being like, how to get the girl, how to talk to girls, how to look cool, stuff like that. 10 things to do before 7th grade starts to get all the girls to like you. Let me tell you something real. Let me tell you something real. My hands used to be so sweaty in middle school that I had to spray Axe on my hands before class. I would spray Axe on my hands so that I could walk around and shake people's hand, you know, dap people up. Because if not, my hands would be real sweaty all the time and people would call me out for it. Middle school was a really embarrassing time, but it was real. It was real. The struggle was real. I don't know if people say that anymore, but the struggle was real. I felt it. I felt the struggle. You don't know the struggle unless you have to wear Axe body spray on your hands every single day just to get by. Let me just say that. That was a struggle. Man, middle school was wild. Middle school was wild. But anyways, let's start. We're going to talk a little bit about real or fake. Because one of the biggest things, and everyone knows this, is that you post on social media stuff you want people to see. That's something we've all fallen victim to every now and then. We want people to perceive us in a certain way. And it's not enough anymore for us just to tell ourselves something. We got to tell other people. We got to let other people know for that validation, right? So we post about it. Hey, I'm graduating, right? Hey, it's my birthday. Hey, I got this job. Because it isn't enough for us to just know that we did it. We need other people to be aware of it, of our accomplishments. Not as much as our failures, we don't throw that out there that much. And I talked about that last episode a little bit about failing, part of life. Actually, I don't think I talked about that last episode. Which episode was it? That might have been it might have been like 3 episodes ago. I don't know. It adds up. But moments happen. And we want people to share moments with us because it's like our way of it being documented. Some of us, we're not going to have those historical moments. So for us, posting on social media and letting other people see, that's our way of like marking history for things. Because they always say if you do everything in the world but you have no one to share it with, did you really do it? Did it really happen? Does it really mean anything if you have no one to share it with? And sometimes it's hard for us to share things with people because we feel like we can't belong. And I know some people who are like that. I've seen some people who are like that. And if you're like that, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you feel that way, that you can't belong, that you don't have a way of blending in. that your biggest dream is to feel like you fit in with people. And I don't want you to feel that way. I don't want you to have to go through that kind of thing because it's tough. It's tough, and that's what's built in something I've been looking into recently, and it's called look maxing. You know, and it's a dangerous game to play. Stuff like that. I get it. You're trying to better yourself. Look maxing basically is about bettering yourself to look as attractive as possible. Your final form, as some would say. But it causes a lot of issues, man. It causes a lot of issues. The mind game. The mind game. You're looking at every little thing about yourself. You're judging every little thing about yourself. Body dysmorphia. I have it. I've never said that before. I said it right here. Big announcement, everyone. I have body dysmorphia. I said it. I'm saying it so y'all can feel comfortable saying it. Hey, he put it there. He put it on the table. How about I put mine on the table? We all have it. We all judge ourselves. We all feel a little insecure about ourselves every now and then because that's how we are. We're people. We're human beings. Just trying to get along with each other. Just trying to get by. And it can be hard. It can be so hard. It creates, it just creates this thing to where you're not perfect, and you're always trying to become as close to perfect as you can when we never will be. You never will be. And it creates this extreme lifestyle, which I get it. There's good ways to do it. It's good to work out. It's good to try to get the best version of yourself. But there's a line. There's a line, and it was always steroids, but now it's been taken somewhere else. People are bone smashing. They're trying to readjust their bone structures and they're hitting stuff on their faces. People are going to some very extreme lengths here just to feel like they have something so they can feel like they're attractive, so they can feel like they can have a shot. Because what we're being taught nowadays is that you have to be the most attractive person in the room. You have to have the personality of Bruce Wayne. You have to be this nonchalant, cool guy that just doesn't have emotions just to look attractive to people. And we're not even allowed to be our own person anymore. We're not allowed to be a character. We're not allowed to have this, to be charismatic and just enjoy ourselves without it being cringe. Man, it's baffling, man. It's baffling. It hurts my heart to see that kind of stuff, to know that we can't be ourselves without someone else judging us for it. In reality, it's because everyone's scared to be themselves, right? So everyone starts putting this fake facade on just to hide. And then we call out other people, right? I said this last episode, and I know that. We call out other people for doing the things we're scared to do. Ain't that sickening, right? That we call out other people because they have the huevos to do what we are scared to do. I said it, I got aggressive because I got fired up right there. I got fired up. There's a lot of situations where we feel like we have to be a certain way. We get into a certain position and we feel like we have to be like this now. Or we have to be like this now. Like, for example, you get on camera, you feel like you have to be this real funny person. You have to be this really charismatic person who everyone loves. Reality, you got to be yourself. They used to say you got to be yourself because everyone else is taken. I haven't heard someone say that in so long. I used to hear that all the time in elementary. Be yourself because everyone else is taken. But no one does that kind of stuff anymore. What happened to the golden rule? Treat others the way you want to be treated. What happened to that? Now it's always about treat people the way they treat you. That's something I've seen a lot of people go around about. I'm going to do the same thing they do to me. Let's get revenge. When does that ever make anything right? That's what's being pushed now. That's the thing that everyone wants to do. That's the cool thing. Sorry, I'm just shocked. It shocks me. Sometimes I just gotta just sit here and shake my head about that kind of stuff. Because there were so many times where you saw people were putting on a face because they were scared of being themselves. That messes with you, you know? It messes with your mind that you have to be someone else. Everyone they want to make YouTube videos teaching you how to be the same person. Well, guess what? Now that you watch that YouTube video to be that nonchalant, cool, mysterious guy, 2 million other people watch that video. Now 2 million people are going to be exactly the same. 2 million people. And you know what? Going forward, 2 million personalities died. All because they were scared. All because they were scared. We got to fight through the fear. And we got to prevail. Because it just seems like nowadays, the world, media, it's trying to make everyone seem so artificial. It's trying to program all of us to act a certain way, to react a way to certain things, to be afraid of being ourselves, to fall in line, to not be cringe, to not be out of the loop, to follow trends, to not have a personality anymore. And I hope you don't fall for that. I hope you don't fall for the muse. I always say the muse. The muse is the noise out there. What other people are saying, what's going around. Don't fall for it. Never fall for the muse. Anyways, guys, that's it for today. I'm sorry, this was a little bit more of these recent episodes have been a little bit more emotional. But that's kind of what's been going on in my heart. I've been feeling a little bit more emotional to tell y'all some things. Because there's certain things that I feel like need to be said. Thank you guys for listening. My name is John Guerra, and this is the Guerra and Don Show. Y'all have a good one. And I'll see y'all next time. Let's hit the music and get out of here.
Memories till there's nothing but ash. I'm starting fresh.